Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Talladega for your Belly Up Sports TV. Stay tuned, Sports 90 from Talladega. I'm Joshua Sobel, and alongside me is Alan. Alan, welcome.
Appreciate it. Good to be here.
So the guys are qualifying as we are going live here. We're going to try and take a look and see if anybody's left with qualifying or not. Well, we got a big race tonight. Big money race. It's going to be a part of a 4-season race series, starting off with a Dega. It's going to be fixed setups for tonight, 90 laps. They have 3 sets of tires, no quick repairs, which I think is going to be a huge thing. Talladega and no way for a quick repair.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are going to have it tougher than the NASCAR drivers had it during the virtual iRacing series. They had I think they had at least one, maybe even 2 fast repairs when that race was broadcasted on TV. These guys will not have that luxury, so it is going to be a battle to survive this race. But at the end, you know it's going to get chaotic. Talladega is chaotic enough of a track as it is. You add a cash prize to that, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, 90 laps around one of the fastest speedways in the Cup Series with no quick repairs is going to leave a lot of guys to basically just taking their time, making their way up to the front. No rush. 90 laps is a long, long run here at Talladega.
Yeah, definitely going to be a test of patience. You know, there's times when you're racing at Talladega where you feel like you're being held back. You know, you want to take it easy, but at the same time, what if the race goes green? You can't afford to lose the draft. And so there is a point to where you want to stay back, but you know, you also think, well, I'm getting held up. I gotta go. So, it's going to be really interesting to see whether that line is drawn or not. You're probably going to see it, throughout this race, a couple of different packs, and that's when it gets really interesting because people, these drivers start to get frustrated with one another when they're sitting there racing 2 or 3 wide when the lead pack is pulling away, and there's just going to be a lot of communication during this race, and it's going to be a fun one, no question about that.
Absolutely. And to bring you up to speed about how the points are working, it is a team-based type of race, but it's also acknowledging those who are also doing individual things as well too. There's going to be a $20 payout for the winner of the race, but if the team has the most points after this 4-race series, it's actually going to bump them a beautiful $420. On top of that, it's also going to be $200 for each individual driver, for the individual driver with the most points as well too. So imagine this. You're on the team with the most points. You're the individual driver with the most points. Let's just say you win all 4. $640. Like it's nothing. Just like that.
Yeah, it's a nice little paycheck. And another thing worth mentioning, there will be points awarded at the halfway point in this race to the top 10. So the first place driver will receive 10 points. Second place driver will receive 9, all the way down to the 10th position who will receive 1 point. So the halfway point is going to be very interesting too. These guys will be racing, probably 2 or 3 wide then as well. So, we're not just looking forward to the finish. We're looking forward to that halfway point too, because there's a lot on the line.
All right, we're going to go through the grid here. As you can see, Scott Crump in that 51 machine up in front, and Gerald Campbell in the 20 beside him. Dean Brummett in row 2 in the 28. Brian M. Smith in the 4th place position. Justin Krasinski in the 25, and Tyler Riggs beside him. Joseph Causey in the 7th spot, and David Duke right there beside him as well.
We go to the next screen. Starting 9th will be Jacob Smith in the 4 car, followed by Jacob Roll in the 19. And next, starting 11th will be Joshua Personette, followed by Damian Leininger. We had to get that pronunciation ahead of the race, but he will start 12th. And 13th will be Daniel Baubler, another one we had to get the pronunciation for, followed by Brandon Browning. Starting 15th will be Thomas Rutherford. Beside him will be Brian Mercurio in 16th.
And then Tate Lytle going to be in 17th, Nick Massey in 18th, Dallas Myhand in the 15 car 19th, Christopher Morse in the 20 car, 7 car in 20th. Kenny Lowry in the 21st spot, and Hank Steinmiller in the 22nd spot. Bran Herman 23rd, and Chad Wilson in the 24th.
Getting close to the green flag. The final 4 will be Dylan Thomas in the 3 car, Greg Olenek. Olenek, another one we got to get the pronunciation for. He'll start 26th. Chris Massey in 27th, and rounding out the field is Brian Crocker in 28th.
As we can see here, the boys are about to go green. Going to be a long race. Scott Crump bringing them to that flag. Green flag in the air, and we got a shootout to turn 1. Inside line is going to take it here, but that outside line works really well if those guys stay together.
Yeah, it's always interesting at the beginning of the race to see whether these cars just instantly go to single file or if they're going to test that outside line. At some point, it's definitely going to play a factor, as we have a car already down on the apron.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be the, was that the 28 car there? We got 2 guys running the same schemes as well. The 19 of Jake Roll, and then we also have the 4 car of Jacob Smith. But Crump still in the lead as we're coming across the tri-oval here. 28 of Dean Brummett right there with him, followed by Gerard Campbell in that 20 car, giving Dean a nice little push. And Dean is going to lead that first lap.
Those 2 similar-looking cars are both from Stryker Motorsports, so we're seeing a team paint scheme there.
Yeah, there's team racing. Glad to see those guys actually running the same paint. It's, as you can see, we stay tuned up there in that 3rd position now. As Dean Brummett is going to drop down in front of Scott Crump. Going to leave that high side open with the 20 car of Gerald Campbell. And good side-by-side racing right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that outside line definitely strong early on. Just 4 cars up there, but they're definitely holding their own right now. You're going to see them carry more speed on the straightaways, but in the turns is where that inside line is really going to move.
Yeah, if you get that that midline running and whatnot through the turns, unfortunately, you can. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you got a guy that knows how to push, as you can see, Scott Crump there in the 51, giving a nice little push to Dean Brummett down low. If you got someone who knows how to push, that high line can be quite nasty.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about the high line is you're in control of your own destiny a lot more up there. When you're on that bottom line, you're really at the mercy of the car in front of you. You can't see that bumper, or excuse me, that spoiler right in front of you is just so big. It's so hard to see exactly where that turn starts. And so you end up finding yourself on the apron all the time, you know, based on where the car is in front of you. And so it's just a constant chain reaction. You definitely feel like the outside line gives you more control because of all the space you have.
Yeah, as you see Gerard Campbell here in the 20 car, right on that back bumper of the 26 of Dean Brummett.
You see it right now. The outside line got a huge run going into turn 1, but now the inside line retaliates. But now onto the backstretch, you're seeing the outside line carry that speed once again.
And that's going to be kind of like the tell of the two here, is that low line getting you early on, but then as soon as you get those guys up high that can get that run off of turns 2 and 4, that's where you're going to see most of your runs going there. But tires, not too much of a factor here, and quite honestly, you're probably going to see more fuel than anything.
Oh, definitely. These guys are going to definitely consider track position when they pit. It doesn't hurt to get a new set of tires every now and then, just for those rare occurrences where you do get a little tight coming out of the turns. But yeah, tires overall will not be an issue today.
And for those of you who are watching today's broadcast, if you head over to Stay Tuned Sports' Twitter, Stay Tuned Sports, he is actually going to be giving away a T-shirt to the person who can name the first driver and what lap the lucky dog was awarded to that driver. He's actually going to be giving away a T-shirt with the Stay Tuned logo on it. So if you're watching tonight's broadcast and have a Twitter, make sure you shout out at Stay Tuned Sports and let him know, and you can win yourself a T-shirt tonight.
And so if you look at the back of the field, we're already seeing a pack of 4 at the very back who have kind of distanced themselves from that lead pack up front. We were talking about that at the beginning of this race. Chris Massey in the 83 car is leading that pack back there. They're within about a second of the car in front of them, but this is what we were talking about. They can't afford to pull away to stay back much more than they are currently because they will lose that draft and you just have no idea when a caution is going to come, if a caution does come. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, most people like to hang back a little bit. Probably what Chris Massey's doing. I mean, he's sitting in 24th spot right now. Probably waiting for the big one or something to happen, and at least try to, even out the field a little bit. Go back up front. Dean Brummett and Scott Crump still battling for this first place position, but almost 3 wide there, the 9.
Yeah, we're close to 3 wide. They finally, okay, they do wisen up and get back to that inside line. But yeah, one of the most frustrating things about being in the outside line is pushing, because once that lead car on that outside line does get up to the lead, when he clears the inside car, you'll normally see him dive below and end up taking over that inside lane, and it kind of leaves you out to dry. It's like, I pushed you to the front and now you're just going to leave me up here. So yeah, it can definitely get frustrating. You have to kind of, there's a lot of give and take that you have to consider, because it could come back to haunt you later in the run if somebody ends up doing that same thing to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can kind of see that this top 12, top 11 right here kind of breaking away, almost got like 3 separate packs going on here. This camera angle kind of give you a nice idea. You got that front, middle, and back pack going on, and this front pack is just running with it right now.
Yeah, and you see that second pack, they are mostly single file now, and that's what they need to do. They need to just participate with each other, cooperate, as there are several cars once again on that apron. Don't know if they're trying to just stay back and kind of distance themselves from the front to stay out of trouble or what, but yeah, definitely an interesting move early on.
They're all the way down, even in the churn. Do you think they're coming in already?
I think they're falling back. I think they're trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
They're going slow though. They are off. The 51 car, Scott Crump, is off pace quite a bit. This is a bold move. I think they're going to lose the draft.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to take chances. At the end of the day, it's Talladega. Your qualifying position isn't going to matter. At the end of the day, you just got to hope and pray that everyone can hold their line and you can avoid whatever's going to be happening in front of you. But I don't know. I mean, it's only lap 9. We got plenty of racing to do. They got plenty of time to come up. Still have some pit stops as well, too, on top of that. So could work out for them in the long run. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, and the good thing for them is that 4-car pack that we were talking about earlier that was in the rear are behind them, so they will create a 6-car pack. They'll be able to create a lot of speed coming there, but yeah, that's going to be difficult to get back to that lead pack as long as that pack is together like they currently are.
We can see now Gerard Campbell in the 20 battling the number 9 of Joseph Causey in that Hooters, as he's got somebody behind. Both of these guys got good pushers. You got Joshua Personette in the 61, Tyler Riggs in the 26. You can tell the 61 is all over the bumper. For
a 3-car, just a 3-car line really overall right now on the outside, they had quite a run on the backstretch there. And now you see what happens. The 27 of Kevin Lowry just got hung out to dry. He's going to fall back quick.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does have a little bit of a pack up there. That's a beautiful looking car. So I like that color.
Yeah, the 15 is still on that outside line of Dallas Myhand, as well as the 7-car of Christopher Morse. So he is getting a little bit of help now, but he did lose a couple spots in the process.
And speaking of Christopher Morse, he did run the fastest lap that time by 48.043. Actually, him and Dallas Myhand in the 15 ran the exact same lap times, it looks like. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely trucking up to the front, up to 8th spot right now.
Yeah, this lead pack, they are not, we were wondering if they were going to go single file for a while. They are not doing that. We are seeing competitive racing for the lead here early on.
Let's take a look and see how Scott Crump and Dean Brummett are doing back here. They have caught one of the packs here, and this mid pack is actually going to be able to most likely catch back up as well too. Everyone's basically single file at this point, but So far, their plan is working. They're back there with Tate Lytle in the 56. I know they've ran together in Erskine, these three guys here, so they pretty much know the driving style of one another. So I expect them to be working pretty well together.
Yeah, it did work out for them, although I think they did cut it a little bit closer than they were meaning to. They were very close to losing the draft, so they were definitely very fortunate.
And back up front, we got some battling going on here. Got low and top line coming along. 61 leading that top line. Joshua Personette being pushed by the the 27 of Kenny Lowry. So and seeing that high line.
We do have one car that is that has flat out lost the draft. It's the 48 of Nick Massey. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he is all by himself right now, and that is a lonely ride.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he came in late because he's 5 laps down.
I believe he missed it. Yeah, he missed the start, and that's definitely an unfortunate way to start your race.
Yeah, so he's going to make up some laps.
But yeah, it's still plenty of time, but he's going to need several cautions to get back up there.
Absolutely. Let's ride on board with Joseph Causey and see what he is seeing in that second place position here. Kind of following along the bumper of the 20 of Gerard Campbell there.
You see how when that car in front of you is right ahead of you, you can just right there. You can't even see the yellow line. You're at the mercy of that car above you. And thank God that spoiler is transparent. The top half of it, because man, that would just make it even more difficult.
Absolutely. The 27 of Kenny Lowry there looked like he might be taking it 3 wide right here on the backstretch, but he's all alone, so it's going to be a freight train kind of coming through him. As you see the G4 Sim Racer and the 7 and 63 make their way along.
Yeah, and you know that outside line has a lot of speed on the straightaway, but the problem is when you don't have draft, it doesn't matter how much speed's up there. When you're all by yourself, you have no chance, and that's what you saw there. He is falling back.
And the 9's just kind of sticking with Gerard Campbell in that 20 there. Guys are starting to get back to single file a little bit as well too. Very patient. I'm pretty impressed so far with how everyone's driving 15 laps in. Nothing too crazy going on. We'll just have to see how green flag pit stops are going to change this up.
Yeah, there's no question, and all these drivers in here know what they're doing. When you're in the NIS series, which for those of you who don't know is the series that the official sanctioned iRacing series that follows the NASCAR schedule, you know, when you're in one of those races, it's hectic. You see cars constantly just kind of all over the place, constantly swerving, trying to keep control of their car, and it is difficult. You know, in their defense, it is very difficult, but in here, yeah, these guys definitely have a lot better control of their cars, and that's definitely going to help keep this race clean.
So I'm not sure we got the pit window for this race. Be curious to see when they start pitting, especially 90 laps in, when they're going to make that first stop, because I do believe they're running 100% fuel, if I am mistaken. I'm not.
And by the way, we had a close call up front. The two lead cars currently, the 15 of Dallas Myhand and the 7 of Christopher Morris, were on the outside lane. They dove to the bottom lane, almost getting to the 20 of Gerald Campbell in the process. There was almost a multi-car wreck there.
And it looks like they've gotten it straightened out, and now you got both of the G4 Sim Racer cars up to the front, 1 and 2. So those guys are going to stick.
This is not going to make Nick Massey's race any easier. He is getting lapped to go 6 laps down now. So definitely a frustrating night so far for him.
Absolutely. At least he's on the apron, out of everybody's way. Love to see guys who know what they're doing when it comes to the lead pack.
Yeah, the good thing for him is that he's not at all damaged. He just missed the start, so he should be able to get the draft once these cars do pass him. So he'll be quick from here on out. But yeah, it's still when you're that many laps down, it's not exactly the most fun to you know, basically race in a bunch of circles for a couple hours.
Yeah, absolutely. But now we got back to double file up here. Guys are getting racy. It looks like Christopher Morse took that high side, maybe trying to take this position away from his teammate, Dallas Myhan. We'll have to see if he can clear him. He's going to on the backstretch, and he's going to take that low line right in front.
Yeah, that's the interesting move for the 7 of Christopher Morse. He got there in the lead and then instantly went to the bottom, but the 15 was nowhere nearby to keep the draft going, so he kind of lost some momentum there. But now does have some help from behind, so this is once again another good battle for the lead.
Absolutely. Good double file racing going on, and looks like I see Crump back there creeping up. Looks like he's back there with his teammate as well too, of Kenny Lowry and that Stay Tuned Sports machine. Both of those guys looking to get back up there. Dean Brummett, who fell back with Scott, now sitting up in 18th, so made some ground after falling back, but Crump is definitely trucking back to the front.
And once again, that pack of 4 in the very back, I mean, that is purely strategy. They're doing a good job of, keeping clean, but just being alert. Although, even if you're out of trouble, that doesn't mean that, you can't run right into it. If somebody crashes, it's up to you to react, to lay off the throttle, but not too hard, because then you have to worry about getting run over from behind. So there's definitely an art to staying out of trouble here at Talladega and any other super speedway.
Yeah, you got Olenek back there, Herman, Chris Massey, Brian Crocker, all staying back, just waiting for something to boil up front. And these guys are racy up here, but they're keeping it very clean. So I don't see anything too crazy going on. So I think we're going to be strapped in for some long green flag runs here tonight.
Yeah, and you see how much room they're giving each other. That's something that you don't always see when there's 2 lines right beside each other. They'll sometimes, kind of get real close to the others, just trying to save as much track as they can. But these guys, they're aware that you're not always going to have perfect control of your car. And so, yeah, I mean, you see they're giving plenty of space in between the 2 lines, a couple of car lengths at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're going to see too much pinching going on here until we get into the late runs. Be interesting to see how this same pack, where the same pack is going to be at near the end, and how racy they're going to get even more. But Talladega, man, it's a fun track nonetheless, and these guys are giving us some great racing so far.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, we'll the first pit stop is when things will get really interesting, because you're going to have some who are able to pull it off without a hitch, but then you're going to have others who, there's a lot that can happen. You can spin trying to come on the pit road. You can go in too fast and get a penalty. You can overshoot your pit stall. You can, as I experienced yesterday with the Roval, you can take fuel but accidentally leave your tires unchecked. So you basically end up staying in pit road for what's 2 pit stops worth of time. So yeah, a lot that can happen during those pit stops. So that's going to be the race within the race.
And interesting enough, the 4 machine there, that pink and teal machine's taking it to the 3rd line. Surprising. It looks like there's going to be some guys going with him. Well, I doubt that's going to stay very long. Yeah, he's going to drop back in line. Not sure. Maybe he's going to test it out, see if anybody wanted to go with him, but unfortunately, no takers.
Yeah, it might have been trying to cool off the car as well. These cars can overheat if you stay behind somebody. If you're too close to them for too long, that water can shoot up in no time.
Everybody down low, looks like, so you got about 6 cars on that high line. Everybody else is single file down low all the way to the back of the field. Crump has lost a couple of spots since the last time we checked on him. Now in 14th, did start the race in the lead.
And we do have another 3 wide. That 4 car is definitely testing the limits early on.
Yeah, he's all alone. He's holding that midline. Luckily, there's enough space here. As long as he can keep it there and not pinch anybody too low on that yellow line, he should be perfectly fine. But he's going to take 2 spots away right there.
Yeah, it definitely paid off for him. An aggressive move early on, but if it's there, why not take it?
Absolutely.
But the interesting thing is going to be, now that these guys have seen him do that, they're going to keep a mental note. So later in this race, they might give it back to him. Might be aggressive and try to get under him, and you never know what can happen.
And you see the 63 of Hank Steinmiller there. with his teammate, the number 2, Chad Wilson. They're playing around with that high line now.
And yeah, you see, they're giving it right back to him. They said, you're going to go under us. Fine, we'll just pass you back on the outside. And
Ooh, the 9
for Jacob Smith.
Almost 4 wide here.
We do have 4 wide. It was 4 wide for a moment. I don't know if they meant to do that, but it's entertaining for us, so we'll take it.
Yeah, the 9 doing a great job of holding his line. Luckily, Tyler Riggs there in the 26 machine still manages to gain some positions, but now you see the 63 and the 2 backing off, so it's like this game of cat and mouse right now.
Yeah, it really is, and that goes back to what we were saying. These guys, the rest of the field is single file, so if you fall back as the 4 car of Jacob Smith, he goes down to the apron. He's done that a couple of times already in this race. I think just kind of trying to, maybe he realized, okay, that was a little too aggressive. I need to lay back here, but yeah, I mean, that's a lot of aggression early on. I thought we were going to see this later in the race, but man, we're seeing it early.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a look near the back of the pack here, see how this group of cars is doing. And look at that. The team of Stay Tuned Sports going on here. Crump, Kenny Lowry, and Brian Mercurio. What were we saying his name is? Mercurio?
I was saying Mercurio, but it could be either one, not sure.
Well, these guys, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, looking to get up front as they're banding together currently. All awesome paint schemes. Huge shout out to Stay Tuned Sports, who is sponsoring today's event. See what these guys can do later on in the run. Oh, here we go. Some battling up front. 20 of Gerard Campbell, the sandwich inside this 3 wide.
Yeah, we're only on lap 20. We're about to be on lap 27. Again, lap 45 is what these guys are racing for currently. Again, there's points that go to the top 10 at that halfway mark. 10 points to the lead car, 1 point to the 10th place car, and then everything in between. So I think these guys definitely have that in mind right now. They're trying to get in position to have a good spot at that halfway point.
What a beautiful looking view here on the back stretch. These guys just holding the line. 63 in the 2, still making that high line. Try to work. 26 is just kind of hoping no one comes down on him or comes up. Terrible spot to be. I know anytime I'm in the middle of a 3 wide, I'm clenching on that steering wheel hoping for the best.
And by the way, unfortunately, Nick Massey having more connection issues. He is currently 6 laps down. I believe he's about to be 7 now. So just a rough day for him.
So as we see, the front is getting real racy. The 61 of Joshua Personette is finally getting in this battle. He's going to go to the 3rd line. Got a lot of momentum coming off of turn 2. Probably not going to be enough to clear anybody on the backstretch, but he does have the 63 of Hank Steinmiller there with him.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that 3rd line working. I mean, these guys are going up there and creating a good run. That's not something you normally see here in iRacing. You normally see it in real life on the, in NASCAR, but not here in iRacing. Most people, tend to stick to the bottom 2 lanes, but yeah, these guys are trying to get that 3rd lane working as well.
As we're coming across the line, completing lap 29, still green flag here at Talladega. The guys are giving us one hell of a show. And as we look, Dean Brummett, again, just checking in on him as he did fall back to the end of the pack with Scott Crump there. He's still sitting in 18th, so hasn't really gained or lost many positions since he's been back there. And, the battle's basically happening up front right now.
And you see in the middle of your screen, the 63 car of Hank Steinmiller. Here's where he might go to the outside and try to make it 3 wide. Doesn't look like he's going to right now. Doesn't have the momentum, but that's where we're seeing it happen. We seem to be seeing it a lot in the middle of the tri-oval or the middle of the backstretch. And so, but it looks like they're cooperating with each other right now, just keeping it in 2 lanes.
Absolutely. In the 20 car, take a look at Tyler Riggs real quick. You see how close the 20 of Gerard Campbell is to him. Kind of just sucking up to him, seeing what he can do, trying to get that low line to work over 200 miles an hour on the backstretch going into turn 3. And just clean air in front. Looking good.
Yeah, when you're the leader, your job is to just keep the car as straight and as stable as possible.
And
so
we got cars. Yep, the team, the
thought there was some trouble, but no, they're coming into pit.
Stay Tuned Sports team is all coming in. Got 2 guys holding the brakes real hard. Hopefully, no speeding penalties there. But Scott Crump leading them.
Contact there too. The 27 car gets in trouble on pit road of Kenny Lowry. Boy, some early issues for him.
We got those guys in pit, so it looks like they're the only ones going in currently. Went in together as a team, come out as a team. Luckily, the track is big enough, so they most likely won't lose anything. The worst thing that could happen right now is a caution.
I think that's going to backfire on them, though. They're only going to have a pack of 3. Actually, no, it's even going to be spread out more than that. As I'm currently looking at the cars coming off of pit road, and it looks like even one car might be getting some damage repaired. They are all spread out. I think that move has really backfired on them.
Yeah, Scott Crump is still in the pits. Everybody else in that little pack that came in is now out coming through the backstretch. So Scott Crump might have gotten some damage there.
Yeah, you might want to take a look at the replay of the 27 of Kenny Lowry. He was coming in and made some contact with one of the other cars, and I think that just kind of got him out of shape and ended up not only missing his pit stall, but I mean he was sliding into his pit stall as well. So just
as we take a look here
for him.
Let's see what happens. Oh, yep, right there. The 3 car actually gets in the back of him, and then the 3, into the wall. Both the 3 and the 27 not having great pit entrance whatsoever.
Yeah,
it took him
a long time to finally get that pit stop started. But yeah, I mean that's what happens here at Talladega. Just one little mistake like that, and just like that, these cars. I mean, I'm looking at it now. They are all spread out about 2 seconds away from the next car, and that just spells trouble when it doesn't go your way.
And unfortunately, it looks like 3 of the 4 on that team is going to be a lap down. Brian Mercurio in the 41 trying to hold on to that lead lap, but as you can tell in that orange car.
We are about to have more cars pitting, by the way.
Oh, here we go. Yep, see Dean Brummett coming in. Oh, Dean Brummett, number 4 of Jacob Smith, a little sideways. So trouble on pit road as the second group comes in. 21 trying to get around the 19. Everyone's just kind of everywhere.
Yeah, these guys so far have done a lot better job sticking together. Let's see if they can have clean pit stops. It looks like most of them, looks like all 4 of them stopped fairly clean. I think they'll be able to come out much more organized than the first team we saw.
And someone we haven't seen too often up there in the front is that number 6 car of Daniel Baubler. Trucking all the way up to 5th place currently, but it looks like he is also going to be coming in hot. Woo!
Oh,
coming in real hot.
Right
that
there.
is 100% a speeding penalty. He is not going to like that. Wow. And you see the top 7 right now still out. Curious to see when these guys pit. 3 of those guys, or it might be 4 of those guys right now, all on the same team up there.
And yeah, I was just taking a look at the replay. Daniel Baubler crossed the entrance to pit road at almost 100 miles an hour. That was just nowhere close. He came in, he committed to pitting just way too late, just came in way too hot, and it wasn't even close. He is definitely coming back in.
And here we go, leaders coming.
He actually is already back in. Or excuse me, he's still getting his.
Oh, trouble in the back. 12 and the 2 get together.
Damage there.
Chad Wilson in the 2 car and Damian Leiniger right there, and caution's not going to come up as that happened in the entrance of pit road, but Chad Wilson with some heavy damage. Let's go back and take a look and see what the heck happened there.
Yeah, and don't forget, there are no fast repairs either, so these guys are going to have to just live with that damage.
Yeah, 12 coming in hot, just takes out the rear, the 2, nowhere to go there. Fortunately, the 12 Not sure. Maybe the two might have checked up just a little bit.
Yeah, the two cut left just a little bit, but there's no question that the 12 car was also coming in way too hot as well. So yeah, just some man. These aren't pit road mistakes. These are pit road disasters that we're seeing
Absolutely.
right now.
And we got Joshua Personette in the pits as well too. Looks like him and Hank Steinmiller are the only two that haven't pit, alongside actually Brian Crocker in the 3 car also not pitting. And it's crazy. Pit road speeds, you're trying to hunker it down from 200 miles an hour coming in, and nobody getting it done. I guess that was not in the practice session.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things, and even when you do practice it, you know when you're racing, you know during the actual race, you just can't really mimic it in practice. You've got adrenaline flowing through you, and when it's time to come in, it's just tough to you're so used to. I mean these guys for 35 laps were going almost 200 miles an hour the entire time. All of a sudden you have to stomp on that brake. It's not easy. I mean, you have to wake up your left leg, because for once you're actually having to use that brake. So it's definitely not an easy thing to do.
But a couple of cars actually making it up into the top 5. Jake Roll in the 19, someone we haven't talked about at all, on the high line right behind the 21 with his teammate right behind him in the 4. Jacob Smith up into the top 5. Justin Krasinski in the 25 car coming up as well too. So a little bit of shakeup here in the front, but the 20 of Gerard Campbell and Joseph Causey, those two have kind of been running away with this thing ever since Crump fell back.
And these pit stops predictably have really spread out the field. I mean, we were seeing, except for Nick Massey, who's been having those issues, we've seen, all of the field within drafting distance of each other. But now, all of a sudden, it's just a 10-car pack in the front. There is a smaller pack behind them trying to stay up to speed, but that so far has been tough.
Well, as you can see, the 51 of Crump is up there in that pack, but unfortunately is a lap down when he had trouble on pit road. Was in his pit stall for over 1 minute and 17 seconds. So right now he is just trying to get around Steinmiller, who's in the 63, so he can get that lucky dog position if a caution does come out. But as of right now, it looks like, yep, he just took that spot away from Steinmiller as he is coming across the tri-oval. So again, up front, Gerard Campbell in the 20, Joseph Causey in the 9. 1-2 kind of leading this thing. Their pit stops were pretty much the exact same coming in and out. So now we're going to see this front line kind of form up.
Yeah, and that pack before that I was talking about just a second ago has done a nice job. They have gotten back up to that lead pack. So the top 14 all in the lead pack, as well as 1 or 2 lap cars. But after that, as you see, they are coming onto the tri-oval. After that, the next pack, the 15th place car of Greg Olenek, just now coming out of turn 4. So there is a lot of distance in between that lead pack and the next one.
And you can see the 4 car again going to that third line, again not working, so he's going to fall back down low, get behind Scott Crump, and try to make it back up there. But also up there with him is going to be the, where did he go? That 41 car. Did he get his lap back? No, never mind. Yeah, he did. He's up in 9th spot now.
Yeah, and we see a couple more cars that are in danger of getting lapped that are going to be a factor in just a moment, as they are going into turn 1. Appears to be a small pack of 3 cars. But for now, these guys, they're right back to it, 3 wide right now. And
yes.
that's definitely going to be interesting if they get these lap cars still at 3 wide. It's not always easy to get rid of that, because there's a lot of cars that aren't willing to go to the very
and
back
Tyler
to
Riggs. Yeah, Tyler Riggs in the 26 came up just a little bit. I don't think he made contact with 51, Scott Crump, but 3 wide, seeing something like that happening almost spelled disaster.
Yeah, and you see several cars have adjusted. They've gone back to two wide. Just one car still out there on the outside, and he is just falling to the back. I think voluntarily more than anything. They realize, they got in a little bit of trouble out right there, and they're kind of trying to keep from getting in any more trouble.
Absolutely. Not a single caution has flown here tonight at Talladega. And as I say that, the 9 car shuts the door on the 21 of Brian Smith. That was close.
And by the way, we are getting close to that halfway point, currently on lap 42. So these guys are definitely going to have that in mind. We might see some good position battles in just a moment here.
They're coming up on lap traffic there. The number 2, Chad Wilson, who was involved in that earlier incident with the 12 car, we don't have fast repairs. So that's the thing that's unfortunate when it comes to the 2 car. He just trying to get on pit road, and unfortunately somebody forgot to hit the brakes. And just like that, the night is just about over. I don't think he's going to be able to get that thing repaired and in competitive shape before the end of this.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that are in a lot of danger right now. They need cautions, and what we've seen so far, these guys are doing a good job of keeping it clean while they're on the track. It's not until they get to pit road that they're having issues. So
And
I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of cautions, but you never know. The second half of this race could be completely different.
And as you can see, they are starting to come up on lap traffic. A little 4-pack car up there. Nick Massey is in that pack. So we'll have to see how these guys can maneuver around. Hopefully it's during the tri-oval or the backstretch, because these guys are getting racy. Like I said, lap 45 is the halfway mark, and it's going to spell the top 10 is going to be awarded points, starting from first place, getting 10 points all the way down to the 10th spot, which I do believe is, or is it 11 points for first place, and then 1 point for the 10th spot place. So those bonus points are going to
10 points for first place, and then it goes.
Yeah, so it goes down from there.
10th place, but yeah, I mean, you're seeing it right now, 3 wide. And by the way, race control did just remind the drivers that we are coming up to halfway, so it is definitely fresh on everyone's mind.
So it's almost like they're doing stage points without throwing a caution, because they're going to keep the green flag running, but they're going to award those 10 points to the top 10. So this next lap is actually going to be one of the most important laps for the guys up front. And the person on the bubble right now is Tate Lytle in the number 56 car, but now he's up to 9th. Chris Morse is going to be in 10th, battling the 41 of Brian Mercurio in that Stay Tuned sports car.
Yeah, and points, whenever you're racing for points, the competitive part of you just, you want those points, even if you're just racing for pride. But when there's cash involved, these guys are going to do what it takes to get up there. So this is definitely an important part of the race right here. Any points you can get could be huge later on in the season.
Absolutely. And 2 of the cars up there in the top 10 that are on the same teams, that 4 car, Jacob Smith, and the 19 of Jake Roll. Oh, here we go. Some topsy-turvy going on
right now. Oh, the 51 and the 7 almost got into it, but there we go, halfway into this race.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge point gain for Jake Roll and Jacob Smith there in the 19 and the 4 cars. They're on the same team, so helping up the team points on top of their individual points as well, too. You also got some G-Force guys up there as well. Christopher Morse happened to secure that 10th place spot, so he's going to award some points to his team as well.
Got a car on the apron right now trying to get back into it in turn 3.
Yeah, it looks like the 3 car, 03.
You see, I mean, these guys were definitely racing for those points, because as soon as they passed it, it's right back to single file for the most part. A few still trying to test the waters up there, but you see, I mean, it looks totally different from what we saw 1 lap ago.
Yeah, they're coming up on lap traffic, so we got a couple of cars in the mix here. Unfortunately, Nick Massey in the 48, who is a really strong driver, great skill, actually won the Erska championship as well, too. Unfortunately, 10 laps down right now, as he's been having some connection issues.
And we have... not sure how long it was, but we have Justin Krasinski, who did put on in the in-game chat that he was pitting in. So I'm not sure if he has already done that, or or if he'll be doing that on this lap.
Then there in the 25 in that red and white car there.
Maybe he accidentally clicked it. Who knows?
Ooh, Scott Crump in a weird position right now. Is kind of midway, almost 3 wide. Looked like it could have been 4, but now he's down low again. Again, he is still a lap down. Still battling some guys. The 6 car is who he is looking after right behind the 5. Got to get around him if a caution does come out, or he is going to be stuck a lap down. So with the way this race is going, I think you're right. I think that pit strategy might have changed the way his outcome is going to be for the rest of this race.
Yeah, but here's the thing. These guys do have to pit again. The pit window's about 35 laps, as we saw. So, you know, that was not for the these guys are not good until the end. They're going to have to do it again. We're going to see it spread out the field even more, assuming it is under green. So that's definitely going to be interesting. You saw how chaotic pit road got the first time. I think it's going to be even, you know, it could be even worse the second time. Who knows? Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Hopefully these guys understand now, like, got to get it slowed down, hold the brakes, try to get it in there nice and smooth. Obviously, guys want to be fast coming in, get fast out. But as you can see right here, we got some lap cars up front, the 5, 6, and the 4. 51 up there as well, too. All lap cars. They're also battling. They're 3 wide with the leaders, the 20 and the 9, sitting 1, 2. So, again, in that sandwich, it's going to be rough. Hopefully these guys can hold it, which they've been doing pretty well of so far. But that low line, if you don't know coming across the tri-oval, is pretty bumpy.
Yeah, that inside line in the middle of the tri-oval, yeah, extremely bumpy. It can easily send you up the track. So, yeah, that's definitely a place that you want to pay extra attention to when you're on that bottom lane. Like
I said, tires aren't really a factor here, but when you get into these long green flag runs, I mean, it's still doing some damage, especially with the racing going on up front. So you just happen to hit that bump just in the wrong spot, and next thing you know, it's essentially churn you around. But as you see, the 20 car taking a pretty smart decision to use the lap cars down low. But I don't think it's going to last very long, as the 9 is making his way back up to the front.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of that, almost just as troublesome on the tri-oval is clipping the apron when you're on that tri-oval. That can also send you up the track, because when you hit the apron with those left side tires, it gets you loose, it sends you right up the track. I was an unfortunate victim of that not too long ago here at Talladega, so it can definitely cause a big issue if you just slightly clip that apron.
So far, guys up front, lap cars aren't really doing too much, so they're just trying to stay in that position. And the 20 car still doing a hell of a job leading the race, led the majority of the race so far. And I thought that high line was going to get going, but it looks like they're kind of discombobulated at the moment. If they could just get it lined up, they could easily use that momentum to get around the 20. Take a look, see how the guys in the back of the pack here are doing. Fortunately, Chad Wilson in the 2 car and the 12 now working together after they had that unfortunate incident in pit road.
Yeah, you definitely see some damage on that 2 car. Not much of a front end right now.
Yeah, the thing is gone.
And we did just hear a couple drivers that will be pitting this time. Or at least one of them. We do see 1 car going on the pit road.
Getting back up front. You can kind of see those cars bouncing around on that low line like we were talking about in the tri-oval, but is that... I just saw a lap car.
Oh, it was one of the cars we were just talking about. It was the one with without the front end. It was the 2 of Chad Wilson. He came in all by himself, so must have been a fuel issue. Maybe he came into pit early on and is might just not have had any more time to stay out there.
Right on board.
You definitely never want to come on the pit road by yourself, because that is you're just asking to get lapped at that point.
Absolutely. Tyler Riggs here, just sucking up to the 9 car. Looking good so far. Nice little view there.
Yeah, and Chad Wilson is still on pit roads. I don't know if he's getting damage fixed or what, but I'm guessing he was having some kind of issue out there on the
Yeah,
track.
yeah. If I was him, I would probably try to get that repaired a little earlier. I mean, you know you're not going to be competitive with that type of damage, but at the same time, you don't want to go numerous laps down. But there's not much you can really do in that sense. You just kind of have to brush it off, get as much as that repaired as you can, go back out and get some points. But it's pretty much just been Joseph Causey and Campbell show, but Tyler Riggs, now in the 26, finally getting up to the front of the pack, going to lead him a few laps there. But the 9 of Joseph Causey on the inside, getting help by Gerard Campbell, going to take that spot back away, and then they're going to run 1 and 2 again.
Just saw a car disappear. Oh yeah, that's Nick
48
Massey.
of Nick
He
Massey.
disappeared again. So yeah, just having connection issues tonight. That's one of the most frustrating things in iRacing. When 99 times out of 100 you don't have any kind of issue, but then all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere, and there's just so many different things it could be. It could be on your end. It could be your service provider. You just have no idea, and that is always a really frustrating thing.
He's got plenty of races to come back after this with the 5 car kind of out there, dry out in the midline. Scott Crump is there with him. He is not clear. Clips that outside car there of Tyler Riggs in the 26 just a little bit. Luckily not too much damage, but Scott Crump's going to suck up behind him. See what they can do. So I think we're seeing more racing from the lap cars than anything right now.
Yeah, and that definitely gets frustrated when you're on the lead lap. I mean, you appreciate the draft, but at the same time, you hope that they stay out of trouble and kind of, draft you from behind instead of trying to pass you, because, obviously all it takes is one wrong bump or one wrong turn for there to be a big issue and end your race as well as theirs.
On board with Scott Crump here. Trying to see, you can see they're pinching that low line there, trying to get a run here. Scott was looking to the outside for a second. It's going to suck up to the 5. Try to get him up there past that 9 car. But again, we're talking about lapped cars racing for the lead now. When you're a lap down, you got to do what you got to do. And like I said, Scott Crump is still trying to battle 2 other guys. One of them is right in front of him in that 5 car, David Duke. Just trying to get around him so he can get that spot. But now the 4 car, little pinch there. Scott almost got taken out there.
Yeah, and what's crazy is this lead pack of 10 cars, only 5 of them, or excuse me, only 4 of them are actually on the lead lap. So that is definitely frustrating for those 4, as well as the ones who are a little bit further back, just trying to stay out of trouble. I mean, that is definitely frustrating. If you're a lead car trying to get up there and you see these guys just racing 3 wide, really for nothing. I mean, you're not going to get ahead of the leader. I wouldn't think that you would be that daring. Maybe they will be, but I don't know. That's a bold move right there.
But earlier, when we were talking about the halfway points, we do have official points on those now. So the 21 of Smith, Campbell in the 20, Causey in the 9, Roll in the 19, Tyler Riggs in the 26, Jay Smith in the 4, Chris in the 25, Myhand in the 15, Lytle in the 56, and Morse in the 7. All got their halfway points. So again, huge for those teams as well. And speaking of Christopher Morse, he is on that high line with 2 other teammates trying to make it work. So far getting there. Might have somebody new here.
Had a couple of cars letting the 48 know that he has been disappearing quite a bit lately, so he's respecting it. He's getting out of line, letting them go, trying to steer clear of having any issues. So just a frustrating night for him.
Absolutely. Hate to see it. Again, Nick Massey is a fantastic driver, and the last thing you want to see is connection issues. But 3 more races left in the series. It doesn't sound like a lot, but with the way everything's going and it's team based, he still has an opportunity to at least win some money.
And look at that team on the outside. They are making it 3 wide currently. Dallas Myhand is that 3rd car in that pack of 3. He is on the lead lap in 4th place. In front of him is Hank Steinmiller, who is in 20th, a lap down. And then right in front of him is the 7 car, Christopher Morse. He is also on the lead lap. He is 3rd place currently.
You can see not a whole lot going on that midline there. 15 just holding on, trying to help his teammates get back up front. But as they're doing that, Joseph Causey and Gerard Campbell are kind of pulling away right now. Just a bit. Lap cars in between them. Nobody really helping the high line right now, unfortunately. So that low line is trucking right now.
Yeah, right now that's where it pays off to be on a team in this race. They're all sticking to that high line, because if they're not on a team at any point, any of those 3 drivers could just say, well, forget y'all, I'm just going to go to the bottom lane. So, you know, having that extra security blanket up there, knowing that these 3 are going to stick together, definitely makes you feel better as a driver. It makes you more confident.
Absolutely. And just as I say that, them running away, Chris Morse and his team up on that high side, getting a good run, finally catching back up to them as they come across the backstretch. Let's see if they can get it done here at a turn 4, grab some of that momentum, and see if they can propel Christopher Morse in that 7 car up front. 62 laps in. Some craziness on pit road, most of the excitement happening there, and we're going to start seeing some cars coming down here pretty soon, actually. We're getting really close.
That's what I was just about to say. We are definitely within 5 or 6 laps from starting to see these cars come down pit road again. You saw how much chaos it created the first time. Expect that again.
And with the short pitting, I would expect Crump to be the first one coming in, because he's one of the guys up front that is the lap down that did pit well before anybody. I want to say he went in, does it tell me? Yeah, he's out there at least 4 laps longer than most of the other guys.
You saw a close move right there at the front. Christopher Morse, who did just take the lead, kind of left, we were talking about leaving guys out to dry on that outside lane, but we're starting to get to that point in this race is we're going to have a lap car making things tight there. But yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point into the race to where, you know, you care about your team, but at the same time, you know, you want to get up there and be in position to win this race.
Yep, when we get to about 10 laps to go, gloves are going to come off, teammates are not going to matter, and everyone is going to be gunning for that first place position. Again, the way that this is kind of sorted out is that it is awarded, points are awarded per driver and awarded for each team as well, too, to calculate the winner at the end of the series. But you're also looking at a $20 purse for first place, but you're also wanting to help your teammates at the same time. So it's like this weird, catch-22. You want to win that money and get those points, but at the same time, there's even more money in the pot when it comes to team points.
Exactly, and I believe we might see some cars here. Nope, doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I do believe that the 84 of Greg Olenek, who is currently that 2nd place car, he's not on the lead lap, but I believe he said he would be pitting very soon.
And that's kind of the group that we've been seeing back here between the 83 of Chris Massey and Greg Olenek and the 84. These guys have basically been in their own little pack the whole race. Hasn't paid off for them yet, but who knows what could happen. Especially when we're coming down to like the last little bit of the race.
Yeah, and we saw that in real life as well. You know, Kevin Harvick especially, they voluntarily lost that lead draft in order to stay out of trouble and then put together a very late run. But yeah, I mean that's what you can see happen when you get enough momentum going, and you trust the drivers around you, to bump draft you in the right places and to just stay on the throttle. Don't get afraid to get into the back of somebody as long as they can keep it under control. You can be really, really fast even with just a few cars.
Absolutely. And these last little bit of pit stops, this is going to be the last stop of the race, is going to be the most important, especially with everything being under green flag conditions. You're going to want to make sure you're getting in clean and you're getting out clean as well too, as we see a couple of guys up ahead of this lead pack here coming off of pit road. It looks like Brian Smith in the 21, Jacob Smith in the 4, Jake Roll in the 19, and Brandon Browning, in the 18. Look like they all pitted.
And that pack of 4 that we saw just a moment ago, here they come. They're coming into pit road. So we do have that group of 4 making another pit stop. Very clean this time. That one of those is the 27 of Kenny Lowry, the 3 of Dylan Thomas, the 84 of Greg Olenek, and the 2 car of Chad Wilson.
Yeah, those guys doing well this time by. They're going to get lapped, unfortunately. And right now, that's going to leave us with about 12 cars on the lead lap out of 28. And Chad Wilson still on pit road in that 2 car, involved in an earlier accident on pit road entry with a 12. 12 minutes right now. He's still getting the repairs done. Up front, Christopher Morse.
You were talking about Scott Crump earlier. He will be pitting this time. He just said in the team radio.
Doesn't have the rest of his teammates up there with him. His closest teammate is pretty much in the back of the pack, so unless he can get some other guys to go with him, it's going to be quite hard. But it looks like he's got about a pack of 4 coming in. Let's take a look. Make sure everybody getting on pit road safely. You got 48 Nick Massey there as well too. Those guys getting in cleanly.
Yeah, we are definitely seeing much cleaner entrance onto pit roads so far, but still quite a few more to go.
Right now, your top 8 are the only ones in the top 10 that have not pitted yet. Right now, Justin Krasinski is in the 7th spot, is pitting, and so is Tate Lytle. So now we got the top 6 who have not pitted. It's interesting to see what Causey and Campbell do. They've pretty much been together the whole race. In the 7, Christopher Morse and his team coming down pit road right now. Man, Alice Mahan coming in hot in that 15.
Yeah, I think they were all able to keep it under speed once they did get to that cone. There are times where it seems like they're going way too hot, and then at the last second they stomp on the brake and are able to get it down to speed.
Well, this is going to be interesting because the 9 and the 20, this could be a pretty good strategy. In all honesty, if these top 4 all pit together, depending on what happens, there's a good chance that they're going to stay the same coming out if they stay out this lap, and he is not.
Yeah, here they come. It's just so unpredictable to know exactly where you're going to come out in the grand scheme of things. Just so many different things can play a factor. I mean, coming onto pit road, you can save a lot of time, but you can also end up costing a lot of time if you just overshoot your pit stall just a little bit. I mean, there's so many different factors, and so sometimes it pays to stay out later and just know what the deal is, how far you're going to end up in front of the lead pack. But that seemed to be a clean stop for all of them, so I think they're going to be able to come out pretty much right where they left off.
Yep, and that man right there in the 85 is scored your leader, Brad Herman. He has not pitted. He will be one of like the 6 cars, but he's, as soon as I say that, coming right in. 4 coming in. Oh, slides it sideways trying to get into pit entry. Gets her slowed down. That's going to bring Joseph Causey and Gerard Campbell back up front as well. It looks like we have the 61 of Joshua Personette. He is a lap down. He's going to be behind Campbell, and that's going to leave Campbell in the 20. I don't think he has anybody. Yeah, there's a big pack behind him. But if he can, okay, well, he's got the draft, so he should be good. I was going to say I wasn't sure if he had that lead pack draft or not, but
Yeah, it looks like the 9 of Joseph Kazi is going to take over the lead here as the current leader. Actually, he is the current leader, so Kazi just made the pass for the lead.
And just like that, Campbell's going to be able to get up there with him as well. And then you see the little pack of cars back here, led by Brian Mercurio and the 41, Scott Crump with him, and Justin Krasinski also up front. Tate Lytle in that, Tyler Riggs, some big guys that know what they're doing in this pack, trying to make their way up front.
Here's where things get interesting. You might think that the 2 cars that are on the lead lap that are in this little pack of 3 in the front are in good shape. But here's the thing. You see that big pack that's right behind them, they are going to come in really strong. They're going to quickly catch up to them. And it's possible that if they don't get in line and, keep up with that draft, they could find themselves on the very back of that line within a couple of laps.
Yeah, depending on where they're overtaken, they're going to get a ton of speed on the backstretch. And they do have a little group up front with some lap cars, a little group of 5. But, yeah, this group is huge back here. If they could keep it straight and together, they're going to have a lot of momentum and might be able to push the 41 of Brian up to the front. So even with the team having some issues on pit road, Stay Tuned team at least has a couple of guys on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, and that line is definitely about to close back up. We're going to have a big single file lane in just a moment. As I was going to say, I bet you that these other cars in the second pack are probably pretty frustrated at the 7 of Christopher Morse and the 15 of Dallas Myhan because they were on that outside lane, but they did a good job of getting back in line, and now it is right back to where we left off.
And Christopher Morse back in 7th position with his teammate in the 15 of Dallas Myhan. Now this group is starting to form up, and we're going to see some heavy racing here within the next 6 laps.
Yeah, just 15 laps remaining in this race. It has been green the entire way. I'll be honest, I did not think that was gonna happen. I thought that halfway we were gonna see a couple of moves that were gonna result in some cautions, and I thought that we would see something by now, but these guys have done a great job, and a lot of credit to them. After that first pit stop, a lot cleaner that second time around. They definitely learned from their mistakes after that first one.
Look who's coming to the front, the 41 of Brian Mercurio, getting a heavy push from Scott Crump in the back. You see there right on his back bumper. If you want someone to push you, it's Scott Crump. I mean, the dude knows what he's doing on the super speedways. Unfortunately, again, a lap down after getting caught up in some mayhem on the pit lane, but pushing his teammate. Oh, and he got sandwiched by the 5 car. And now Brian is going to lose that momentum. Might be able to clear the 9. I don't think so. And now he just lost his drafting partner from Scott Crump.
Yeah, you see 2 lines of cars fitting onto that one seam. We're about to see some aggressive racing. It is now every man for himself pretty much. And you see, I mean, we were talking about how much room there was earlier between the 2 lines. You see that it is a lot tighter now than it was earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. The guys in the mid lane pinching the guys down low, trying to get everything and anything they can get to get a run. 20 car checking the apron just a little bit coming off of turn 3. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, it's going to be some tight racing here on out. Ooh, and the 4 car making contact just a little bit, looks like, with Christopher Morse. Nothing too intense, but yeah.
And what's crazy is in iRacing, the car is actually a little bit wider than it is in real life. And the reason for that is because in iRacing, you have to worry about netcode. There's just a little bit of, I guess you could call it like a little bit of a bubble.
Like a bubble, yep.
Around your car that, the game can register as contact even if you don't actually make it. It can send your car around.
Oh, and just like that, the 5 and 51 Scott Crump. And Scott is just tumbling off of turn 3, and we have our first caution of the night. Wow. What a wreck that was. Boot up the Belly Up Sports replay here.
And you're going to see this was just a chain reaction. We'll have the replay up in just a moment, but yeah, just this is what happens. This is when the racing picks up, and that's exactly what we saw there. Just a chain reaction that started with the 51 car of Scott Crump, like you mentioned, as well as the 5 car of David Duke.
You can see here, right on board, getting a nice little angle here of 51 of Scott Crump. Goes down and makes it 3 wide, looks like. The 5 up high on him. And then you got the 4 on the outside. Let's see what just gets sandwiched. Something happens here. Oh, the 5 checks up just a little bit. And unfortunately, it even gets in the leader. Oh, and that's unfortunate. 51 got that bug. He hit the fence and he just kind of get caught in it. Going 200 to nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunate for him. Obviously, with no fast repair, he is done for this race. But yeah, I mean, that's just, like I said, that's what happens. The 5 had to check up just a little bit for that. And, you know, when there's a car right behind you, you end up, you know, it can just cause a chain reaction, and that's what happens.
And so that should score Daniel Baubler in the number 6 car. The Lucky Dog. Stay Tuned Sports Lucky Dog Award should be awarded to him. I don't believe he was caught up in that accident, so he is going to be able to get back up to the front. So again, keep that in mind if you are watching tonight's race. That will be your guy. And again, I don't believe he got into any incidents with that wreck. I have to make sure. Hopefully Scott Crump is doing well. That sounded like a that just looked absolutely terrible.
You know, I would say that we should take a look at his in-car video, but you might need a barf bag if you do that.
Take a look here. The pack's kind of getting put back together. Daniel on the inside of the, and we got the 15. Who's that back there?
And, you know, a little bit of, you know what really kind of led to that incident was the lapped car. It was the 03 of Brian Crocker. He was getting lapped as a car on the inside lane, and that actually forced the lead car, or excuse me, the second place car at the time, Joseph Causey, to go up the track just a little bit. That caused the 5 car to kind of go up, and he had to check up, and that's what led to that crash. I'm looking at my own replay right now, and yeah, that definitely had a lot to do with it. That lapped car on the inside lane. Not saying it was anyone's fault in general. I mean, it's definitely a racing incident, but that's definitely what happens when that lead, you know, when a lap car comes into play, when you're side by side, it just becomes chaotic.
Absolutely. And up front, Joseph Causey in the 9 holding on to this thing. Brian Mercurio in the 41. Gerard Campbell in the 20 sitting 3rd. Dallas Myhan in the 15 4th. And Tyler Riggs in the 26 rounding out the top 5. And this is going to be interesting. Now we're going to get everybody kind of back to double file. A lot of racing. Going to have 10 laps to go, probably about 9 once the lights come off, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the lights are off now, so yeah, I believe we're going to restart with 9 to go. And so yeah, things if they weren't already picked up enough as it was, then they're definitely picking up for this last run.
Actually, I'm getting word that Daniel was actually in the wreck, got some damage, so it's actually going to go to Greg Olenek, who is going to be the Lucky Dog, Stay Tuned Sports Lucky Dog. So unfortunately for Daniel, if you got any sort of damage off of a wreck and you're in that or that last lead car there in the lap down. Unfortunately, he's not going to be scored with that. So Greg now back on the lead lap, sitting in 18th.
Yeah, and that's definitely a frustrating place to be. If all it takes is for the game, or for iRacing to register just a little bit of contact, and just like that, your lucky dog is gone, and it goes to the next person.
Yeah, when I saw him slowing down there on the backstretch, and then I saw some damage, I was like, I don't believe he was up there. But, yep, unfortunately, he is going to be scored without that. So, tough break for him, but now it gives Greg a chance to come back up. It doesn't look like he has any damage either, so. See, we're going into turn 3 and 4 here. Luckily, iRacing finally fixed the the caution flags. There was a crazy bug where like the short tracks would last longer than the super speedways, when it was supposed to be everyone's supposed to have the same amount. So now we got fast cautions here at Talladega.
So let me ask you this: if you had to pick one driver here, who would it be?
It's tough because both Joseph Causey in the 9 and Gerard Campbell in the 20 have been fighting like crazy. But we got Brian up there in the 41 Stay Tuned Sports Car. And Tate Lytle, I know, is a great driver. It's going to be really tough. I think I'm going to go with Tate Lytle. He's going to be in the 56 in that Busch car down low.
We're about to go green back here, and green flag falls. I'm going to go with Dallas Myhan because he has his teammate right behind him.
All right, green flag back in the air. Guys are not wasting any time to get raced. You already got 3 wide back here with a 21. Back at the 15th spot to Brian Smith with the 27 of Kenny Lowry, who's actually driving the 22. But that's going to pan out real quick. Go back up front. Brian Mercurio in the 41, still in that high lane. Got a lot of help with Dallas Myhan and Christopher Morse up there. But these next 9 laps are going to be some tight racing. But Gerard Campbell, man, him and Joseph Causey have just been glued to each other all race. We come across start-finish line, going into turn 1. Got a lot of guys up here all sporting the same team. The G-Force Racing guys up here. So got the, who's that up there in those pink cars?
Team Speed Racing.
Yep.
Yeah, those are three that you definitely want to keep an eye on, because of the fact that all 3 of them are still in that pack. At any time, they could create a third lane.
Tyler Riggs down there in the 26, just waiting for something to happen. The guy's still side by side, coming off of 4. Going to be 7 laps to go here, and honestly, it's anybody's game at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we could even see another caution here. It's just a lot that can still happen. A lot of laps left. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it is.
I saw the 03 is okay, so he's the 3 car. So it looks like another Stay Tuned Sports car is actually up there. It's just Dylan Thomas sitting in the 8th spot. If he can get to Brian in the 41, get something working. Oh, the 15 is going to drop out of line, and his teammate Christopher Morse is not going to be able to help him unless they come off the turn 4 here. Might go up, but I doubt it. Kind of thinking about it. Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of spots. Ooh, and we got contact. Justin Krasinski in the 25 making contact with 83, and 83 is just flipping. It is the night of flips, and the caution is going to come out, and unfortunately, Chris Massey in the 83 is going to be upside down, and that's a tough break. That's going to be a toe and a half, but yeah, let's take a look and see what happened there. Right on board. Let's ride on board with Justin. You see nothing really happening up front.
Yeah, you're going to see a chain reaction on the inside. Just kind of everybody kind of had to let up a little bit, and something's got to give.
Yeah, just
He
like
ended
that
up
80.
yeah, he got into the 85 of Jake Roll, and from there, just a pure chain reaction. I mean, that's just what happens with, especially on that inside line. We were talking about it earlier. You're at the mercy of the cars in front of you. When they check up, it's either you have to check up too, or just kind of nail them in the rear end, and that's what we saw there. It ended up being a big wreck.
Yeah, and you can kind of see there. We're going to take another look from a different angle here for just a second. Looks like the 85 of Brad Herman, because the 83, these guys racing kind of harder right here. I think I saw a G-Force racer also involved in that as well. Let's take a look and see. Coming across the tri-oval. Someone might have checked up. Nope. 83. I think the 83 just gets into the back of him and loosens it up. So tough break there. Caution number 2 out. And just like that, cautions breed cautions. And now this is going to be an even shorter shootout. And now, this time around, Daniel Baubler is going to be the Stay Tuned Sports Lucky Dog winner. Going to finally get it back. He got, unfortunately, iRacing scored him as a hit from that last wreck, so now he's going to be able to get it back and get back on the lead lap. And I think when we go green here, we're going to be 4 laps to green. Be interesting to see who's going to take it.
Yeah, and again, I think the teams are definitely going to come into play here, as they're going to be able to, kind of coordinate with each other, as we are on the same Discord as the majority of these teams. They are all in their own channels, so they're strategizing right now, talking amongst themselves exactly what they're going to do. And yeah, I mean, this is still anybody's race, but yeah, right now the clear advantage goes to those who have the majority of their teammates still in this race on the lead lap.
Yeah, so it looks like Causey and Campbell are on the same team in PRM. I'm going to bring him into the booth real quick, get a little bit of a word with him, and see what the strategy is going to be like. Just a second. Hey, Joseph, this is Josh in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, how's it going, dude? You and Campbell are running away with this thing. What's the strategy looking like with 4 to go?
I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Not a whole lot of wrecks here tonight, so a lot of green flag racing. I don't think anybody was ready for these long runs, but I mean, it's been you and Campbell all day long.
Oh yeah, we've been working as a great team, but now we're down to the nitty gritty.
Absolutely. The gloves are about to come off, but it looks like the pace lights are going to go off this time by, so I'm going to let you go, and good luck, man.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, so speaking with Joseph Causey there in the 9, luckily he's got his teammate Gerard Campbell there in the 20, so like you heard him say, those gloves are going to pretty much come off, and it's going to be a nice little shootout here.
Yeah, I think, to me, the team, if you're looking at a specific team with an advantage, I think it's got to go to Team Speed Racing. I mean, 3 of their cars right there near each other. The other team we were looking at, G4 Sim Racing, their cars are a little more spread out right now. So it's definitely going to be a huge restart, not just to keep your position, but to also get these teammates coordinated with each other on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, at the end of the day, this is a team event as well, as far as there's points awarded for the single racers also. So again, like we were talking about before, it's like that catch-22. You want to do well, but you also want to help your team succeed as well. And points are going to matter when we get to the last race of the season. Again, only 4 races, but they're going to be 4 big races with a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, and I mean, for this one event, in particular, I mean, hey, $20 might not sound like a lot, but hey, that's what, 3 months worth of iRacing subscription.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, these guys are definitely gonna, mostly focus on their team, but you're also gonna see a little bit of them, definitely, taking that extra step to get the victory. And so, we could see some very risky moves in these final couple of laps.
Absolutely. And we haven't really talked much, but Stay Tuned Sports Podcast is the sponsor for tonight's race. Check them out. New episodes drop every Thursday at 7 a.m. Eastern over on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Amazon Music. Check out their YouTube page at Stay Tuned Sports and their Twitter at Stay Tuned Sports as well, as we're about to go green here. Let's see what the guys have got for us with 4 to go. Joseph Causey, Gerard Campbell, up front, 1 and 2, all night long. Let's see what happens. I hope you guys are enjoying the race. I know we are up here in the booth, and it's going to get dicey, so hold on tight. As you see, almost already the 41 peeking his nose in, gets that spot away. Now he is breaking up those teammates. So we'll have to see what Joseph's going to do here. We got the 7 of Christopher Morris going to the outside, going to be up there with 20 of Gerard Campbell. And we've got a race.
Yeah, boy, that outside lane did not get off to a good start. But
it's going to get tight up there. Oh, and the 41. Oh, hold it. Yep. Good job holding it. The 7's in the wall. Oh, the 20 is out as well. The 41's going around. Brian, oh my gosh. Huge wreck. 28 involved a Dean Brummett. The 20 is done. Campbell, unfortunately. Kenny Lowry, I think he might have made that unscathed. Wow. This changes everything.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, we need to ride on board with the 19 car of Jacob Roll, because he got quite a ride almost. I mean, he was nearly taken out several times during that incident. Very fortunate to have his car in one piece right now.
All right, let's take a look. Wreck avoidance 101 barely gets into the 26
what you didn't see on that angle right there was the back of his car, because one of the cars almost came up and clipped him, and I mean, it was so close that it might have actually registered some contact with him there, but fortunately he was able to keep it straight. And yeah, right there, you see right there, so close to getting taken out there, but he is still rolling, and he is very fortunate to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a little bit of front end damage. Nothing too crazy. He did get into the back of Tyler Riggs on the 26. Not going to really do too much. I want to take a look at the 20 as well and see what happened with him. Fortunately, Campbell, hate to see it. Let's do a blimp cam on this one. Actually, you see the 41 goes down low. 7 got loose somewhere. The 03 and the 20 into each other. Comes back up, takes out the 15. Everyone just kind of collected after that. And again, that's going to end his night with that engine damage.
Yeah, it was a bold move. I mean, you saw the 9 and the 41 go outside to kind of try to keep that outside lane from getting going. And unfortunately, if you're the 7 car, you can't let up. You just can't let up this late in the race. And that's what we saw there. I mean, he just kept on the throttle. If he lets off the throttle, he gets run over from the 20. Unfortunately, that's what ended up happening anyway. But,
yeah.
but with the initial incident, that's exactly what happened. You can't let off the throttle at that point. And if you're going to come up the block, you got to expect to get hit there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you see there Dallas Myhan taking a lot of front end damage. Unfortunately. Then gets into the 41 right after that. Wow.
And I'll tell you what, the car with the advantage now is the leader, Joseph Causey. I mean, he's really he might be the only car up here who didn't take any damage during that incident. He does have a dent on the right side of his rear end, but
Which one?
nothing too bad. Joseph Kazi
Joseph
in the
Kazi.
front.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean the front end looks fantastic. I think he has the clear advantage here. I mean the cars around him look fine, but I do think that the majority of them did take some kind of light contact during that incident.
As you can see, what you can't see is the eyes of this man, Joseph Kazi, and the number 9. Just look at him. He is calm, cool, and collected.
We could use that. We could use that heart rate monitor that NASCAR has put in this season, because I guarantee you his heart is pounding right now.
Absolutely. He's got the team out there, Jacob Smith and Jake Roll in the 19. Oof. That sucks when you have no what teammate is the closest to him from that team? Let's see. So Tyler Riggs. Okay, so he still has Tyler Riggs in the 26 right behind him. So he still has somebody there with him. So we're going to see the battle of two teams as it's PRM on the inside. And then we're going to have... Look at these other teams. Was it Apex? Jacob Smith. Striker Motorsports. There we go. Striker Motorsports on the outside. I got to get used to these teams now. Remembering drivers' names and teams.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. Now, the paint schemes definitely help. We do appreciate
Yes,
those the identical
definitely.
paint schemes.
So as they come across the line, once the pace car comes off, it's going to be a 2-lap shootout. Now, we do have green-white checkers as well, too, if we do need them. So that's going to be something to look out for. It's going to be 2 green-white checkers that they'll get. And I don't think they're going to need it, in all honesty. I mean, we've had 2 cautions out of the whole race of 90 laps, which is literally insane.
Yeah, it's been a clean one overall. I mean, these guys, we mentioned it earlier, they were giving a lot of room. You know, they were racing with 2 different lines, but they were making it work. But as that second line was getting tighter to the inside, we definitely knew that it was only a matter of time before something happened, and that has not disappointed. So I don't know. I don't know. I really, it's going to be right down the middle as to whether we see another green-white checkered or not. It's going to be very exciting here.
Absolutely, and definitely stick around at the end of the race. We are going to interview the top 3 drivers, so make sure you stick around for that. But we still have 3 laps of racing to go. The pace car coming off. This pack is going to get tight. You see a lot of guys back there without any hoods on. It's just chaos everywhere.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to play a factor. These damaged cars are kind of mixed in with these undamaged ones. So this restart is it could spread out the field a little bit here.
And let's see who takes off. Joseph Kazi waiting, and just like that great restart all the way around. 21 car there, Brian Smith going down the pack. You see the 2 Stay Tuned car still there as well too. The 56 Tate Lytle coming up. That low line is getting a heck of a run right now. I'm telling you, Tate Lytle is looking for that position.
Yeah, we see the Team Speed Racing Network guys trying to get some momentum going on that outside line, but they just don't have enough help up there right now.
And you're going to see Tate Lytle going to the top. Hopefully it's not a mistake. The 4 car's kind of been all over the place with 3 wides left and right, but it's going to make it work, and his teammate's actually going to get shuffled out of that little block, or what I'm trying to say. Wow, there's just so much going on. Sorry, Joseph Kazi taking the inside as I'm speaking.
Kazi went up the block, and then he went back to the inside. A good move there, but we're going to see if he's able to keep that outside lane from getting enough momentum. So far, it's a pretty effective job right now.
And you see white flag out. Well, this is the final lap. He had 3 lanes to block. Now it's down to just 2. The high line's getting a huge run. Jacob Smith is in front of that. Tate Lytle cannot block, so he's going to stay mid. Going into turn 3, that high line's now going to kind of just fizzle out. Joseph Causey's still there in the 26, is around, and we have the big one. And just like that, Tate Lytle coming out of nowhere, and he is actually going to take this as they're still wrecking off of turn 4. And just like that, Tate Lytle in that 56 is taking this one in a strange turn of events. Wow. I'm not going to say I called it, but Tate Lytle making it work.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to keep the car going somehow. Oh my goodness! And I was looking at the replay myself. Man, it's just the right place at the right time. That is just pure luck.
Yeah, we definitely need to take a look at that one, and you hate to see it. Your teammate, I mean, we can't really say much until we take a look at what's going on, but man, for it to boil down to that is rough for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely feel for Joseph Causey. He was doing a great job. I mean, he did block a little bit, but it was effective. It was clean. He did a great job of, keeping that lead, but unfortunately just got turned around on the last lap, and that is definitely frustrating for him.
Yeah, so here we go. Blimp cam this one. Tyler Riggs in the 26. You see there on the low line behind his teammate of the 9 car. Try a different angle here. He goes to the high side, comes back in, blocking the 3. Unfortunately, just gets underneath of him. And just like that, everyone involved, the 27, 21, the 6, the leader of the 9 of Joseph Causey there, still wrecking. And even into the pit wall, the 48, Nick Massey.
Just a rough one.
Rough night for him. See if we can get another look from a different angle, kind of a little bit further back.
And Tyler Riggs did take responsibility for that incident. Said all me in the server chat. So good of him to realize he made a mistake, and that definitely makes things easier in the garage.
So we're on the 4 car. See what he does. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He just gets pile drove by 2 other cars, and I think I've seen more cars without a hood tonight than anything else.
Yeah, and that just shows you how crazy and unpredictable Talladega is. I mean, this was a clean race. In the grand scheme of things, it was a very clean race, and yet we still see all these damaged cars. I mean, that is just the nature of the beast here at Talladega.
Absolutely, and while we get ready to get these guys in, take us just a second. And let me go ahead and get some interviews lined up here. What a crazy finish that was. You had Tate Lytle finishing first, Jake Roll second, and Greg Olenek in third. Interesting. Let's go ahead and bring up Greg here. Hopefully, there he is. Hey, Greg, Josh, and Alan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So, 3rd place finish for you. Will kind of walk us through what was going through your head there at the end as you kind of made it through that craziness.
Well, I was actually just telling my teammates, man, I was like, the whole time I was committed to that bottom line just for that reason that I could tell that we were going to stay 3 wide for those 2 laps, and I wanted to be able to avoid the wreck my best I could when it happened. I just knew I could tell by the tendency of the race from how it turned from 70 green flag laps to, the little bumping here and there would send somebody. I just was committed to that bottom line, and it was moving at the same time. So, I mean, that was my thought process pretty much.
Yeah, and you were one of the cars early on in the race too, alongside I do believe it was the 83 of Chris Massey, who kind of like formed this little group at the beginning, and y'all kind of fell back to the pack. And it definitely worked out. You were even a lap down at one point, got that back due to a caution, and then just like that in third place. Did the green flag runs kind of mess up any sort of strategy you had, or was it planned to kind of fall back to the pack?
That was the plan the whole time. It's a little different game when you come into a Dega race with no quick repairs. So we wanted to take care of our cars, and I mean we're also racing with some new people at the same time, so we wanted to kind of feel out the pack, and it seemed like that was the plan for everybody. At the beginning of the race, for like the first 20 laps, it seemed like it was single file for the most part. So the plan was to stay within the draft and be able to catch up if we needed to. And once the green flag started going, the green flag stops, we actually kind of, three out of the four of us made mistakes on our green flag stops. So we had a lot of catching up to do and kind of got put behind the eight ball. And I just tried to stay in with the lead pack when I got a lap down, and it paid off.
Oh, yeah, and it definitely paid off. You get a top three out of it. Y'all had a fantastic race. Do you have anybody you would like to shout out, or you have any shout outs at all?
I do. We got a couple sponsors I'd like to shout out. We got Tough Love Rings. They got silicone rings for men out there, women out there. If they want to switch from metal bands to silicone bands, go check out tlrings.com. You can use code Bronco, get 25% off. Also, Sandwich Man Racing. They have a new online store, sandwichmanracing.myshopify.com. And also, I have a sponsor that's been with me from the beginning, Diamond G Concepts. Um, I just special thanks to them. iRacing 10 will get you free shipping on any order at diamondgconcepts.com. Thank you.
Well, good job, Greg. Awesome race, and can't wait to see what you do with the rest of this season, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
All righty, and Jake Roll. Let's go ahead and get him in here.
Well done, Greg.
Let's see. There he is. Try to get everybody moved around here. Hey, Jake, it's Josh and Alan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing up there?
Doing really well after that race. It was a ton of fun. Kind of walk us through what it was like from your perspective.
Yeah, so going into it, us over at Striker Motorsports had a plan, stuck with it. Just gonna ride around until lap 40, which that was about 4 laps after we pit the first, or no, 7 laps after we pit the first time. Get those crucial stage points. Our team brought home first, fourth, and like eighth or so. Then just riding around again till the yellow. And then we were all there at the end, obviously, and you saw it. That's just kind of our game plan going into it.
Yeah, it looked like I do believe Jacob got caught up in that incident. You were right there with him as well too. Luckily, you made it through. What did that look like from your point of view? Did you take any damage off that last lap wreck at all, or did you manage to get through it kind of unscathed?
Yeah, so going on that restart with the green white checkered, Jacob Smith, myself, and Brian Smith, who's our other teammate, we were all in the top about 10 or so restarting. Jacob and I obviously front two on the outside lane. I had damage, so then once Brian got behind me on the high side, I let them go because I was no help at that point. And then obviously everyone didn't watch 2 weeks ago Sunday Talladega with the Cup guys, and that's how you avoid a wreck in turn 4 on the last lap and get second place.
Absolutely. And I mean, you and Jacob are doing really well. I mean, y'all were pretty much up front the whole entire race. Like I was asking the other guys, I don't think anyone was really prepared for like really long green flag runs. Did you have to change up the strategy with the team at all, kind of making up to see what you would need to do to get back to the front, knowing that there's a chance of a good long green flag run?
No. That's honestly what we came into this thinking, is it was going to be no different than an NIS fixed or open race where it's usually long green flag runs. We were going to have to make pit stops. That's literally all we did in practice, was practicing getting it in and out of pit lane. And obviously we gained a ton of time and kept us up front. So I believe us at Striker Motorsports, we nailed it. And obviously it, 2 cars, 3 cars in like all of us in the top 14. So definitely proud of us.
Yeah, it's going to help out a ton in points, especially in this series. You round out with a second place finish. That's huge. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give out while you're here?
Of course, I'd like to thank our main sponsor on the car, Silverback Tax Solutions. If you need any help with your tax returns, hit them up, as well as Team Speed Racing Network. Just a great company there. They do broadcasting as well, not to conflict with you guys, just shouting them out, obviously. And then also RSR at back home, Roel Smith Racing. If it wasn't for us three, we wouldn't be right here where we are right now. Appreciate it, guys.
Well, congratulations, Jake. Good job on a second place finish, and we can't wait to see what happens next week.
Oh, yeah, we're excited for Atlanta.
Alrighty, that was Jake Roll in the 19, rolling out in second place. And now the man of the hour, it's Tate Lytle in the 56, coming out of nowhere. Tate, do you have a copy? This is Josh.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Wow, what a finish. That's all I really have to say. You kind of hung back a little bit as well too. Wasn't really up front too often, but you finished where it counted the most. Kind of walk us through how the night was for you.
Yeah, I just took it easy the first, probably that last pit stop in, and then was gonna try to make a move, but they were looking like they're trying to wreck, and they ended up wrecking, and I started on the bottom a couple times and really wasn't happy about starting on the bottom, but was somehow able to get clear out of 4 coming to the white, and not sure how I didn't get clipped by somebody in that wreck.
Yeah, I mean, it basically looked like you just kind of knew where it was going, and the rest was it.
Tate, I'm noticing that coming to the white flag, you not only got blocked by Kazi, but you even got passed by the 4 car who was right behind you. At that point, did you feel like it was over, or did you know you still had a chance?
I knew I had a chance. My odds went down a lot, but you never really know what's gonna happen. And even coming into turn 3, running like 4th, I figured I'd have a shot at it coming through the tri-oval, but I don't know why the 26 didn't try and pass the 9, and I don't know what they were doing up there, but they ended up wrecking, and somehow we didn't get involved.
Well, you did a fantastic job with the wreck avoidance. You stayed out of trouble pretty much the whole entire night. I know, unfortunately, the teammates in Apex, not so much. Good luck, Nick Massey. Unfortunately, I guess he had some connection issues or something's going on there, but he wasn't able to get up there with you. What about Chris? Chris Massey is in your team, correct?
Nope. Krasinski and Damien.
Krasinski. Okay. I just saw Chris in there. I wasn't sure if he was part of it because I was saying he got involved in some stuff as well too. Well,
yeah, Damien got wrecked coming into pit road the first time by the 2 car, so it was glad I was able to salvage some points, although I'm sure we'll probably still be mid-pack somewhere.
Yeah, but first place is going to be huge for you, and you walk away with $20 on top of that as well. Is there anybody you would like to shout out while you're here as well?
Yeah, obviously Mike with Belly Up for putting it all together. Stay tuned for sponsoring the race, and you guys for toughing it out with us.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun, a lot of long green flag runs, and can't wait to see what you can do next week, and hopefully the team can come back even stronger.
I think we will. We'll see how it goes, though. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Have a good one, Tate. So, Tate Lytle running it out, first place. Man, again, an exciting race. Bring the results page up for you guys here. Again, huge shout out to Belly Up Sports, letting myself and Alan broadcast this series, as well as Stay Tuned Sports for sponsoring Dega. It's going to be huge for them. I know if you're watching the race, again, go check them out over at Twitter, which is going to be at Stay Tuned Sports. Win yourself a t-shirt if you can guess the driver and what lap there was the lucky dog. If you don't remember, just look back at the broadcast. That's all you got to do. But other than that, Alan, unless there's some other things you want to put in, I mean, I don't think it could have gotten any better.
No, definitely an exciting race. I mean, we got both. We got both good long green flag laps. But then we also had, for those who like that wreck fest, we had that at the very end. So definitely the best of both worlds in this race.
Absolutely. And I know the next race is going to be even better. I think we're looking at Dover. Let me just double check real quick. I want to say it's Dover, I do believe. So next week is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, a short track as well, too. So that's going to be interesting as well. I mean, we already saw how these guys can run it on Talladega, but Dover is going to be very interesting. So it's either, let me make sure, because it's going to bug me. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure I'm right on here. Atlanta. There we go. It's going to be Atlanta. Then it's Dover. I got the two mixed up. So, yeah, Atlanta is next week. Going to be huge. Dover right after that, and then Richmond to round it out. But, I mean, 6 set of tires going into Atlanta, so those guys are going to be able to use up a lot of that real estate there.
Yeah, and Atlanta has some very old pavements, so you definitely need those tires because they wear out quick there.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I know we definitely had a blast up here. Mike at Belly Up Sports, again, huge thank you for letting us do this, and we will see you here at the same time, 9:30 Eastern next week. Don't be late, and take care, everyone.